Hi, I'm Tina,
I'm Ross.
and today we're back at Touch of Britain, and we're going to try their fish and chips meal.
And also pick up a few things on the way. Here we have Tina applying.
Yeah, it was recommended to put salt and vinegar on the mushy peas too. Does anybody else do that?
Okay.
You're having a little tartar sauce.
I'm having my tartar sauce.
All right, so what would you like to eat?
We're gonna do the two-piece fish chips, just the a la carte.
This is definitely, let's say, crunchier. The coating is kind of crispier, crunchier than, say, when we're at the Fat Rabbit. And the pieces seem larger.
It almost seemed like the fish meat was a little firmer, do you think?
I would say when we were at Fat Rabbit, we were trying to eat the fish and chips there. The fish itself was very flaky, and it was trying to eat it with a fork. It was just falling apart. Or maybe the way to go is to eat it with your hands. So, but
I think it'd be easier. The other one I think would be hard to eat with our hands, but this one was,
So I would say if I had to choose between the two, probably for the fish and chips here.
Yeah,
Seems like,
that fish is really good. I do really like the coating on this.
like the coating, and also is not as greasy.
Yeah.
And the fries, the chips, are not as greasy as well.
Yeah.
So, about to try that.
Are you gonna try some mushy peas?
I'm gonna try some mushy peas.
This is your first time trying mushy peas, huh?
Yes. I know Tina's not wild about peas, but I think you tolerated mushy peas.
Yes. I know that's what we
Good.
Awesome.
I know that was recommended that we put some malt vinegar on it. So,
Yeah, so if you're still in love, please stop by. So we can show you.
Do you like it better with the vinegar?
yeah, I think it adds a little flavor to it.
It's mushy peas for me, and I'm not a big pea eater.
What do you think?
I definitely think the salt and vinegar adds something for me. It seems less sweet than the typical peas that we get, which of course are not mushy, just regular peas.
How about we go
Want to try the chips?
in this table over here? I think you'll have more room. Okay.
Good.
Also good.
How would you compare them to the last place? At the Fat Rabbit?
I'd say they're similar. I'm going to try eating with my hands. This one actually doesn't seem as greasy as the other we tried.
I will give up. What do we want to drink first?
Okay. Thoughts?
Very crispy coating on this one.
Okay.
I think crispier, not as greasy as the other ones we tried.
Okay.
English lemonade. It's kind of like a Sprite, but more than.
So we're back from Touch of Britain, and it's actually a store/restaurant that we only recently discovered in the past year or so. And they've actually been there for 35 years, we found out today. So they have been there, but we just didn't know about them. And that's actually been one of our places where we pick up some of our British items, whether it's candy or
Drinks.
I should say sweets.
Some frozen items. And you mentioned restaurant?
Restaurant, yes. They have a very small restaurant and a very small menu. They're actually not open that many hours. I think they only open about 5 hours a day, 5 days a week. And it is a very small family-run business. And they have a little store section attached to it where we get some of our treats.
Let's have some canned goods. Like mushy peas. What else? Mushy peas.
Heinz beans, of
Heinz
course.
beans. We have mixes like for custard, condiments like the Branston pickles.
That's one of the few places we can find the real Cadbury chocolate.
Yes.
So recently we tried fish and chips at the Fat Rabbit in Folsom. So we kind of want to do a little bit of a comparison. And I'd say Touch of Britain had really good fish and chips, especially the fish. I'd say the chips were more on par with each other, but I thought the fish at Touch of Britain was really good. The coating was nice and crispy. We actually picked it up with our hands, as some people had mentioned, eating it with your hands. Now, we didn't have paper or anything to keep our hands clean, but it was not real greasy like the other ones. So that made it easy to eat with our hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say something I noticed was the fish that we had at the Fat Rabbit seemed like it was flakier. It almost made it kind of hard to eat with a fork. And the fish that we had today, I mean, it tasted just as good. It was maybe firmer, but there was something about that coating that was extra crispy. And the nice thing was, it was not as oily. It wasn't as greasy. The chips were not as greasy as well. And I think we maybe even had larger portions for what we ordered.
Yeah, actually, at Touch of Britain, we did get the smaller portion. You could get 1 or 2 pieces, and so we did get the 1 piece, whereas we got 2 pieces. We got the larger portion at Fat Rabbit. So the portion size isn't really a fair comparison, but definitely not as big as some of the videos we've seen from the UK. I mean,
yes.
They look like they're huge, so I've never seen anything like that here. And I did want to point out that both places did serve cod for their fish and chips, and I don't know if seems like cod is fairly typical for fish and chips, but we'll have to pay attention now whenever we get fish and chips in a restaurant, what kind of fish they're using. But it seems like we do see cod a lot.
Yeah, and mushy peas.
Mushy peas, yes, that is the option that we had at Touch of Britain that we did not have at Fat Rabbit was mushy peas. And that was your first time trying mushy peas?
It was.
Yeah. And
I liked it.
Yeah, they're pretty good. And I'm not a big pea eater myself. I tend to avoid them. We usually have the ones that are, of course, not mushy here, and it seems like they're sweeter here. I don't know. Is it just me, or I think it may be also the way it was recommended. The woman at Touch of Britain did recommend using some salt and malt vinegar on them, and I really like that.
Yeah, it was a good combo. In fact, afterwards, we did some shopping. That was one of the first things we picked up was malt vinegar.
Yes. That we have all these different. We have balsamic. We've got regular plain white vinegar. We've got apple cider vinegar. Yeah. All these vinegars and no malt vinegar. It's like, okay, we got to add malt vinegar to our cupboards.
So we'll be using that in the near future.
Yeah.
But what else? What else rings a bell with you as far as the experience comparing to? Okay, Fat Rabbit bar /
yeah,
restaurant.
And they have a larger menu, and it's not all British food. Atmosphere was really great at Fat Rabbit. You can't beat that.
Yeah.
But the people at Touch of Britain are very friendly, family-run business. So it was great to see. We were the first ones in there to eat, but more people kept coming in. They don't have a large dining area, but it was starting to fill up. So that was actually really nice to see that people are patronizing them and giving them some business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Agreed. So even though the Touch of Britain has a smaller menu and maybe doesn't have quite the same ambiance, it's still not an establishment. I mean, in addition to being a place where you can sit down and have a bite and tea, but they have alcohol as well. It's not just fish and chips and some of the drinks they had available. Half store, half restaurant. So
yeah, and I did try. I think it's been one of the only places we can actually find British sodas anywhere. I haven't seen many at Cost Plus besides Fentiman's, but I did get my dandelion and burdock with my fish and chips. At least I had heard that that's often a traditional drink you have with fish and chips, and from our last soda video, that was one I really enjoyed, so it was fun to have that again.
It's the only place I know if I can find Iron Brew. I picked up another bottle.
Yeah.
So we picked up some beverages, and we'll probably do another video.
Yeah.
Another video review of that.
So if you like food tastings and food reaction videos, give this video a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel. Until the next time, bye-bye.
Bye.